So how it felt backstage, I was like, ain't no way I'm outlifting this guy. And then I kept it closer, kept more efficiency, and I ended up beating him, right? But it's such a mind game when you start lifting those heavy loads like that. That's what made me think of when you're like, just don't tell me it's heavy. Because I was telling myself it was heavy when I was backstage, because just watching the comparison, you know? What do they say? Comparison's the thief of joy?
So, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but it's Luke's birthday today.
Thanks, man.
What did you guys get him?
My next 10 podcasts are free.
Cool. That seems like an expensive gift.
You gotta fill this from the sink because the Cody, Wyoming water is 25% more anabolic than any filtered water. So today, Mike's the guy doing sit-ups and not moving his arms. That's him. We're gonna be training some pull. So we'll freestyle it a little bit, meaning I don't have everything planned out in my brain, but I got some ideas, so we'll make a cooperative effort on planning that out and get shit done.
Long time.
Yeah. I've had a few different thought processes today as I ponder being 36. Some of it's acknowledging. Yeah, it was a good year, 1987.
When were you born? Babies.
And you were 72?
84.
Oh.
George Orwell.
But now thinking about, hey, in 36 years, like, you know, finding some gratitude and appreciation for how far I've come, especially in like the last maybe 3 to 5. But then like that's quickly replaced with a very intense, bro, you ain't even close yet, you know? Playing too small. Gotta make some changes. More progress. All right, should we do some pull-ups?
No.
No. I'm gonna do pull-ups anyways?
No.
Well, the only available, you just wanna do them on the Smith? Just do that.
Pull-ups?
Yeah.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Videos on social media that are like, just like tearing people's form apart. Have you seen those? Have you seen like an influx in that? Like I feel like it, you know, for their while, it got really popular with the 2 videos, you know, a red X on this one, a green check mark on this one for like form, right? Which I get, but like, man, lately, I don't know. I've seen these like pages where there's like, they must be like running out of shit to talk about or something in the fitness and bodybuilding world, because now they're just like, they're grabbing someone and just like picking apart their form and like why it's wrong and all that. I don't know, man. I think this whole like, it's right and wrong thing, I don't know. Especially for like, at some point, like just getting people in here, getting people in the gym and moving is far better, even if they're doing it what you think quote unquote is wrong. It's better than them not being in here at all, you know? And obviously, you know, like what I do for training, I want people to move as efficiently as possible, and I guide them on those movement patterns so that we're safe and effective. But like, man, people are really like, just getting down to the nitty gritty of like, this is wrong, this is right, and I'm like, maybe it's not about being right and wrong, it's just about this version is more efficient, this version is less efficient, you know? It's like, because what if that person's feeling exactly what they want? A lot of people don't have that conversation probably enough to go, am I feeling this where I want? Well, I don't know where I'm supposed to feel it, you know, so maybe that needs to start, but this whole right and wrong thing.
Yeah, but do you want to move efficiently when you're lifting weights? Because the less efficient you are, the more workload you're doing, right?
The less efficient?
Yeah, the more efficient, the easier the exercise.
Not necessarily. I guess so. Efficiency just isn't for me, it just isn't just on the movement standpoint, but it's also like, are you being efficient at activating what you want,
Okay.
right? So being inefficient or inefficient on the movement pattern will open the door for more compensation, right?
Yeah, so I was just thinking like if I'm less efficient at moving the weight, then I'm
So think about
Working more
think about
muscles.
you like we were talking about yesterday with the way you press, right? For
Yeah.
years you've pressed arguably in an inefficient manner mechanically, but for loading your pecs the way you want. But it's been efficient for you to move heavy load. So it's like, what's your goal?
yeah.
Right,
My inefficiency has made me stronger.
Except when we manipulate your form to then load pec more.
For aesthetics, right?
Well,
Would
you
you
also,
argue that?
but you're also, your compensations are also creating musculoskeletal disorders that you're having to treat in the physical therapy world too, right? So,
Yeah.
so it's efficient until it's not, right? So, yeah, so, and then adding on what you're saying, it's like, as you grow through like the teaching process, right? Just like I have in physical therapy or with personal training, you start to choose your battles, right? And you start to go, okay, well, like as I watch this, it might not be as efficient as we're saying as I would maybe like to see it, but if it's getting the job done and they're doing the job very well, like I'll use the example of I had this, I worked with a couple athletes where I was in this position, and one of them that I'm thinking most recently was I think she was a softball player is what it was. And mechanically, there were some things that I really wanted to change in her throwing pattern, her pitching pattern, that was gonna help her avoid the shoulder problem she was having. But she was so good at doing it the way that she was doing it that I wasn't gonna change that right then in the season. That was gonna be a change that needed to be addressed after the season was over, right? It's like, I went through a continuing education course, SFMA, Selective Functional Movement Assessments. And one of the guys that created the whole program was there teaching the course. And he was talking about how much they use it with PGA Tour players. And he was talking about one of the golfers that at the time was ranked #1 in the world, right? And he comes in and they run him through this selective functional movement assessment and he fails everything. Like just fails it brutally. And they're all just like, because they know they can't fix it. He's #1 in the world right now. And if you start changing his lacking mobility or lacking stability that made him fail that test, you are going to ruin his swing. So that has to be something that has to be slowly integrated to not, deviate from the productivity that they're having on their playing field. So there's a balance to it all, and that's what I like what you said, is like coming at it from like, hey, maybe next time try this and see what you think. Because maybe it's like, nah, or maybe like, oh, it's a game changer. So again, maybe not wrong and right, but more efficient, less efficient, I don't know. So how it felt backstage, I was like, ain't no way I'm outlifting this guy. And then I kept it closer, kept more efficiency, and I ended up beating him, right? But it's such a mind game when you start lifting those heavy loads like that. That's what made me think of when you're like, just don't tell me it's heavy. Because I was telling myself it was heavy when I was backstage, because just watching the comparison, What do they say? Comparison's the thief of joy. Disappointment comes from an unfair comparison. So stay the course.
Comparison is the driving factor of discipline.
Confucius. Wait, what? So Mike, does it help you more if I make it look hard or if I make it look easy?
I'm not gonna look at you. You're such a
Why?
because you picked it up 4 times. I only want to pick it up once.
What if it moves really well for you?
But I'm still only picking it up once. It's easier. Can we do some steps? You know?
Sure.
Some steps, bruh.
Some septicals.
Boom. I'm gonna tell Pete that my pec minor is short.
He already knows that.
Oh. I was trying to tell him you hit me, you like poked me somewhere, and it made me like all weak. You know, as soon as that came out of my mouth, I was like, maybe no one picked up on that, and I can just let it slide.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, but oh well. It's heavy.
Sit on this bench, Mike. Let's unload it. Thanks for joining us for this little vlog we put together on the push day. Also happens to be my birthday. Thanks for wishing me happy birthday, being here with me. I didn't have much to spit as far as, you know, deep philosophy or educational things, and so we'll see what we get out of it. But I guess the point I want to make in closing this vlog is, man, you're not always going to be feeling it, so it's about getting it done. Even on your birthday, even on the days that you don't want to. I wanted to, so a lot of people maybe choose to not train on their birthday, and that's when it's your gig. But for me, man, I love training. So I wanted to wanted to lift some weights as I celebrate my 36th trip around the sun. So just remember that no matter where you're at in your week, in your days, you got to prioritize your non-negotiables. You got to get in there. You've got to get it done, because inevitably, how you show up for yourself is how you're going to show up for everything else in your life. It takes discipline. It's fun to be inspired. It's fun to find motivation, but it's short-lived. You got to have the discipline to show up even when you necessarily don't want to. I think my favorite definition of discipline comes from Mike Tyson, and he says, discipline is doing something you hate like you love it. I don't hate this, but you get the point. Do the things that you don't want to do, because I think it makes us better. So thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy this vlog. Check out our previous one. Check out the Progressive Resistance Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, the Barbell Club, my personal page as well. And then on YouTube, like, share. Let's spread the word, spread positivity. Let's build the better you. Until next time.